Being a London-based photographer and YouTuber, I get to visit some pretty cool places and shoot those iconic locations. But there's always this pull, this longing for the backcountry, the great outdoors. Scotland. Packing the car with all your camera gear, travelling 8 hours north with your favourite person next to you. Yes, dear. Welcome to the West Highland Way in Scotland. It's an absolutely stunning day, which is unusual for Scotland. The last time I was here, it was like this, and I was hoping for some really nice moody weather, but not to be. I'm here for a week though, so hopefully we'll get something along the way. Yes, I walked the West Highland Way. Just a little bit of it, 14k, with a heavy camera bag. What camera are you using, please?
This is Fuji.
Fuji!
It's a him.
XE2S. A nice entry-level starter camera. I'm not saying you're a starter.
I am really though.
Being able to share your passion of photography with your partner in such incredible landscape. It's one of those great feelings. And imparting some compositional knowledge. The exposure triangle science. Okay, so here's my setup with a 24mm lens, 125th of a second on the shutter, aperture f14 because I want those mountains in focus as well as the subject matter, and a nice low ISO for good quality. Using yourself in a scene that has no foreground interest to speak of, it adds a sense of scale and depth, which you kind of need in these epic locations. A cheap little shutter remote on a 2-second timer, and you're golden. Being a huge Star Wars fan, I went for that Luke Skywalker home planet Tatooine vibe in my colour grading. Can't feel my legs. You can't comprehend the vast expanse of the Highlands. 30,000 freshwater lochs. Some small, some. So you've seen James Bond's Skyfall. Glen Nevis. This is where they shot some of the scenes in the movie. Cool. Although I'm pretty sure James Bond didn't pose on a rock. Just love this spot with those windswept trees and that waterfall in the background. I've opted for a 14mm manual focus lens to get those foreground rocks a little bigger in the composition. Focusing 1.5 meters into the scene gets me a hyperfocal distance for sharp focus front to back. My wife is stalking a deer. Caravan life on a photography trip, you can't beat it. Except at the start of Storm Francis.
She's gonna blow.
This is what I came to Scotland for. I've been here for 6 days in bright blue skies, hardly any wind, and finally I'm getting the full Highland treatment. Now for some moody photography. Low-lying cloud, mist. Photography bliss. hard to resist a quick pit stop picture. There are literally thousands of waterfalls in Scotland. I like waterfalls, but the one I really wanted to shoot was Steel Falls. But to get there required some steely determination. Do you like that? An hour's hike through tough terrain, crossing babbling brooks, and of course Jackie insisted on going first to test whether it was safe for my expensive camera equipment. So there she goes, my Go Ape wife. Jackie, look at her go! It was. I got this. Huh? How about that? Look at this! Shooting at the base of a 120-meter waterfall can play havoc with your camera gear. Even when it's not raining, it's raining. Half a second exposure, f16, ISO 50 gets you some nice silky water motion. Job done. Now for the hike back. But this is the most westernly point on the British Isles. Mainland UK. I was wet and confused. It's a fantastic day. As you can see, the tide isn't even in for me. So I was hoping for some really nice crashing waves, but it's not to be. I even had a Tide Times app on my phone.
A little bit wet.
Great photography requires great planning and patience. I couldn't feel my legs at this point, so... Another day brings another camera adventure. Not knowing what you're going to get, what challenges you might face to get those shots. You can be as prepared as you can possibly be. Your expectations will still find a way to disappoint you or surprise you. Getting that gallery-worthy image could come when you least expect it, or it could take months of effort. I mean, there's never a good time to shoot photography, is there? Even the times that are supposed to be good, like golden hour or blue hour, you know, conditions might not be right, there could be distractions, there may be a duck in your shot. Do you mind not ruining my shot? Yoo-hoo! Got all those ripples. So I'm probably going to exposure blend two images together here, one for the pier in the foreground and the other for the trees and the sky. I've got a 3-stop ND filter on the lens to drag the shutter to about half a second, which will smooth out the water even more for that fine art look. happy. These ducks though. Being able to roam freely in Scotland and enjoy all the nooks and crannies that the Highlands has to offer, it's such a blessing. Knowing that there is something spectacular around a corner, but you're permitted from seeing it because you don't have the correct privilege, that's a frustration that I experience all too often. Not in Scotland though. They want you to experience its splendour. They want you to see why it was fought over so passionately, and why the Scots were so protective of this magnificent landscape.